I'd like to just jump forward to Joe Masi, who might be leaving us a little bit ahead of schedule. I know when someone steps down from a position or hits retirement, they're busier than all heck. So we'll try to get you on here, Joe, and then we'll jump to Mariette afterwards. So Joe Masi was Executive Director of AMM, which is the Association of Manitoba Municipalities, for 20 years, working with a number of groups, including EDAM. At AMM, he was responsible for the overall advocacy work and municipal trading company. He was pleased to assist EDAM in obtaining funds for their training modules, as I mentioned at the beginning of the session today, which are used today by EDAM and its members. Joe was appointed by the province in November of 2019 to co-chair the Rural Manitoba Economic Development Board, which has been busy establishing a new economic development office in Brandon that will coordinate rural economic development throughout rural Manitoba. So, Joe.
Merci, Joel, and good morning, everyone. And thank you very much to EDAM for allowing a bit of time for the the Economic Development Rural Board work that we are doing for rural Manitoba. And I want to start off just with a couple of thank yous. First of all, I do want to acknowledge Minister Eichler and the initiative that he has put forward for this initiative for rural Manitoba. I think it's going to be once things are set up, a great thing for rural economic development. And I want to acknowledge him, his department. They've been great to work with. I also want to acknowledge, he'll be speaking later from the chamber perspective, but my co-chair, Chuck Davidson. Chuck is an incredible co-chair. He gets things done, he moves forward, and you know, as much as we know we've been delayed a little bit because of the pandemic and some of the new other priorities that have gone on, Chuck has made sure that we continue as a board to go forward with this. So thank you to him. And also want to acknowledge your representative on the board, Marilyn Crew. Marilyn has really brought forward the concerns and issues from your association in a forceful way that has really made our board and our work even, I hope, more representative of what you were telling us in the consultations. And so I want to acknowledge those individuals. You know, this is going to be an exciting initiative for rural Manitoba. That's why I stayed involved. As Joel mentioned, I retired in 2019. Chuck and I had been working on this before that, and then in November of 19, the province formalized our board, and we've been diligently working towards this. A couple of things that we have done to date. We certainly engaged in a consultant to help us guide us through the process. I know Greg Dandowich met with your organization, and certainly your input was very valuable. So we did a lot of work with the consultant to help develop our framework of what we want to do. I want to also, we've been doing some communication work. We've been getting our communication things that need for the organization so that when we are ready to go, we have some communication tools, a web page, and things that people can go to so that we can be hit the ground running for this initiative. And finally, you know, as you know, we are in the process of recruiting a CEO for the organization in Brandon, and we are diligently working towards that, and hopefully we will have some news on that in the next little while. One of the things that I do want to make very clear on this, and we heard this loud and clear about this organization and what it should not do, and I stress should not do, is to try to replace the great work of EDAM and the members of EDAM. This organization is committed, it's right in our report, that we will be working in partnership and collaboratively with you. So, you know, sometimes people hear things and, you know, it's going to be all encompassing and do everything for rural Manitoba. It is not. It is there to assist and support EDAM. We need you. We need to have the practitioners very involved in our work, and we will be there to support you and work with you so that we can make rural Manitoba stronger. So I want to put that on the table to make sure that it's clear that this is going to be, and your group will continue to be, a very important stakeholder group as we move forward, both in the setting up of the organization when we staff it and so on, but also in the work that's going to be done. We cannot do rural economic development without the members of EDAM. It was interesting. We did a bit of a survey of rural businesses and about, what do you think about rural economic development? And one of the things that came out loud and clear was that there were gaps in rural economic development. And there was strong support for an agency like this to fill those gaps. We want to be an organization that's nimble, that can help cut through red tape, that can assist municipalities and businesses when there are roadblocks, when you need information to make you aware of programs, kind of a one-stop shop connector for all of you in rural Manitoba. We want to be sort of have good data and good information on rural economic development. Where are municipalities at? Who is investment ready? We want to make sure that when businesses come to Manitoba, they have a clear picture of where investment can go and where the needs are. And so we look at our organization as a really important one in terms of making sure we have the data and information that businesses and municipalities need to bring economic development to their areas. As I say, we want to be a partner with the other partners. You'll be hearing from the Mariette on the World Trade Center. We've got partners of Economic Development Winnipeg, and we want to be a supporter of the Provincial Growth Action Plan, the Economic Growth Action Plan. I think that's really important that these partners that are identified in the plan bring their resources, bring their expertise to help rural Manitoba. I think, for many years, maybe some of the supports were not there or were not made aware of them. This agency is going to help coordinate and bring those supports to you, so that if you need some of the supports from the partners, they are there for you. But as I said, we have to be nimble, we have to be accountable, and we have to be transparent in the work we're doing. And I know our board is very committed to that. We have board meetings. We talk a lot about making sure we're not just passing information on to people and collecting information and not doing anything, but we are going to be there as an active partner for rural economic development. So as I said, we want to work with EDAM. There's a lot of work yet to do. We are sort of now, hopefully, as we get out of the pandemic and start recovering, our economy starts recovering, this agency is going to be a key agency for rural Manitoba for economic development. And we're already starting to talk about some tours we may want to do, some things to get out there, hear from businesses and municipalities firsthand, and start putting together an agency and staffing it that can really start to work to bring rural economic development to Manitoba. So I'm very excited about this. As Joel said, sometimes when you retire, you get very involved in things. You get more busy than you should. But this is something that I do believe in, and I congratulate the provincial government for taking this on, because I think for the first time in many, many years, we really have an opportunity to help rural Manitoba on some major economic development. So I want to thank EDAM. I look forward to the discussions and the questions. But as I say, my message is you are a key partner, and we will be working with you very, very much throughout the next year. So thank you very much, Joel. Merci beaucoup.